with Rico and Kayla is about to go live online. Catch All Out monster hit music, All Out celebrity interviews, All Out showbiz and sports news, All Out fun, an exclusive on the Monster. Catch the stream on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Your All Out hosts, Rico Robles and Kayla Rivera. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Hey, how are you guys doing? What's up, monsters? It's another Monster exclusive interview once again, and this one is in epic proportions. Whether it's dominating the hip-hop global stage when it came to dancing as a Philippine All Star, to getting y'all ladies going crazy with the sexy beats and sexy dance moves with the rock star, whether it's rapping with his partner Big Chink with Def Concept, this man is definitely doing Mainit things, playing basketball, getting to a little ruckus, all that and more. Ladies and gentlemen, first time on the show, we're going to get to know the story behind how he ended up inside the octagon doing a first bare knuckle fight in the Philippines. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Mainit, Kenjhons. What's up, man?
What up, everybody? Rico, what's good, man? It's been a minute. Thank you for having me in this interview, this opportunity to share my story. It's been Mainit.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been quite a while. I know this is like the first time that we're catching up on an interview basis, but you know, we've been boys for quite some time. What's been up, man? What's been happening with you?
Crazy stuff, man. I mean, over like a decade or something from hip hop dance to my solo R&B album to from the All Stars to the rock stars and being a family man with 2 kids and being married happily, man. And then going back to basketball with Battle of the YouTubers and now URCC bare knuckle historical. It's about to happen tomorrow, man. You guys just gotta catch that. You gotta catch that fire.
Yeah, and you know, the Mainit fire indeed. Now, you know, Ken, for those who don't know, you started out, of course, coming from Canada and guesting on 93 Flavor and Monster RX93.1 with, of course, Big Chink, you know, with the hip hop styles and everything. But what got you to come back here in the Philippines? Was it really to pursue music before forming the dance group?
Yeah, actually, that was my initial plan, was coming back in the Philippines because being aware of Philippines is they have a lot of bars, clubs where you could perform and perfect your craft when it comes to music. Because I was aspiring R&B artist back in 2 decades ago, and you know that time I need a lot of because I'm like a late bloomer when it comes to music and singing, right? So I figured I had to go back to the Philippines and thinking it would be my perfect training ground. So that's what led me to coming back here, not knowing I'd be staying here. Like it's really like home for me. So yeah.
And with that journey, of course, Def Concept with you and Big Chink doing your music. And then the All Stars were suddenly born. You were doing the music, but at the same time, a dance group. I knew you could break dance. I always saw you, you know, I always witnessed you doing some push-ups on the chair, plyometrics, doing some shoulder presses against the wall, man. But take us to the journey. When was the All Stars, you know, the Philippine All Stars? When did it start? When did it begin?
No, that's what it was. I mean, even being a dance crew was never a part of my plan. Like, you know, I just be up in the club, you know, trying to get my groove on, trying to get the moves down, trying to get them girls, you know, back in the days. You know how it was, being single and fly and everything. So just trying to like dream and train in the club as much as I could dance, and thinking and trying to project that stage of being in the international concert, something like Usher, you know, back in the days, who inspired me so much of wanting to be the R&B artist that I am now too. So, you know, like, you know, we would have like clubs probably like once or twice a week, and then we'd be like seeing the same heads that eventually became the the Philippine All Stars. We were just like great friends who danced in the clubs, who would be like tearing it down. And next thing you know, we found out like, yo, Kenjhons, can you help us out? Let's form a crew and represent the Philippines in the World Championships, like World Hip Hop Dance Championships. And at first, I wouldn't want to bite it because I'm not about that. I'm trying to be like an R&B artist, right? So I was trying to record and finish my solo album back in that time, and just caught myself in a studio of 12 dancers, and that was, the rest is history for the Philippine All Stars. And I said like that wasn't my plan, but God for some reason kept like bringing me back to these guys, and it wasn't a part of it. But then I was like, you know what? Show me the way. So that's where I officially started like having this like massive, relationship with the man upstairs of like impossibles becoming possible once you believe. So yeah,
And I remember you guys would always, when you guys were doing the All Stars as well, you'd always say it's his story. You know what I mean? You guys would always see that. Where after that, it's his story to share the message. With the formation of the Philippine All Stars of those times, I mean, you guys have inspired so many dancers to form groups that nothing is impossible. That having faith in the Lord, having faith in God really will get you through every struggle or every challenges that you could hurdle. Now, for you guys as the group, how was it like going to the World Championships for the first time? Because I remember you guys guessing at the station. We were looking for sponsors for you guys, getting your plane tickets out there. I mean, how did all of that tie in and everything unfolded?
It was like that's when you get tested like to the maximum level where you got nobody believing in you. You got no money to feed yourself or money to get to the studio. You get tested to your lowest point, and the only direction was really to look up and look for possibilities and hopes to pursue your passion and your dream. And that's where we started like connecting to making impossible become possible. When you got nobody else believing you but the man upstairs, and then you start praying and you start questioning, you start believing, and he starts answering your questions. So that's how we started like realizing, I think there's for real there's a man upstairs. Like that's how we talk about God back then, because he would answer our prayers, and then we just be like, what we trying to do with this fame or this title is to represent your light. Like show us some miracles over the struggles, and we gonna scream to the world that you exist for real. So we realize when you have that why you're doing what you're doing, like your purpose, like he will make a way. Like no matter how dark the alley or the situation is, he gonna give you the light to shine through any kind of struggles, any kind of darkness. And he proved it to us, to the whole world. You know what I mean? Like who would have thought, like back in 15, 20 years ago, you wouldn't hear of hip hop coming from the Philippines. Like, are you serious? There's no hip hop in the Philippines. Like, we remember when we competed in the States and we met like Philams, they'd be like, yo, we didn't know that there's hip hop in the Philippines. We thought it's just like Ocho Ocho or some, like that, right?
That's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see on TFC. The stuff that they see. They think it's novelty. They think it's just comedy dancing, that kind of thing.
But on the real, the fact that if I'm not mistaken, 4 of us grew up from Canada and in Guam or in America. So it kind of gave us that international flavor for the Philippine All Stars, because not everybody was local. So we were locals but globals, right? So that kind of gave us the upper hand to translate our message or our moves and grooves to the whole world. And not to tell them that we are the best, but to tell the world that we got to come together, man, because in God's eyes, we all stars. So it was more about like celebration of being one in the world of hip hop. It wasn't about the color. Like it wasn't even about who's the best or who's like if I talk about like dance, we were far from being the best dancers. Like maybe the most deserving crew, because like I said, like God just gave us a way to shine. Like we weren't good, man. We weren't. I don't even think we were great dancers. Like I'm like the original choreographer and the leader of the All Stars, and I knew for real that we weren't that good, but
Mhm.
we believed, and I know that what we had in here for the men upstairs was had to be the reason why we were flown out there with no sponsorship, with no money,
Mhm.
nobody believing in us. We had a story that no one else had at that time, that
Mhm.
God just made a way for people to listen and see our story, which we kept saying it's his story. It's not
Mhm.
history, it's his story. So yeah, man, that's how it came about. Like it's having the best intentions. It's for me, it's about like who deserves it the most,
Mhm.
who earned it. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. It's not just about skills or talent. It's
It's
overall, you
true,
know,
true, true. And what were the
like
struggles? I mean, when you formed the All Star, when you guys were doing that, when you guys were competing for the first time, I mean, I know
yeah,
plane tickets a struggle, but what was a struggle? Because that's what 12 people,
yeah,
12 different
yeah.
people, 12 different egos, 12
Different
different
egos,
mindset.
yeah, different backgrounds, different mindset. So it was crazy. Like man, that's where I grew up. I grew old. I was stressed so bad, bro.
Mhm.
Like, like and then they were stars in their own ways. You know what I mean? So it wasn't easy for me. So but then I found like a training ground for me to be great. You gotta
Mhm.
be able to turn, even if you say they shine in their own ways, right? But they're stubborn, like we got egos. So how do you humble them, him or her,
Mhm.
and as a unit become, like find that balance of being so confident but
Mhm.
humble as a
Mhm.
team and as individuals. So that was a tough like equation to try to figure out. And like I said, I couldn't have done it by myself. Like I really had to be connected to the men upstairs to make it
Mhm.
happen. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
already hard enough to mentor one person. And what more for like 12 people who feels, moves and grooves differently. We had our own different backgrounds in dance. So how do you unify or have a uniform of movement and vibe? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But then we're stars in our own ways, different ways. So it was a lot of hardships, but then again, I took it like as a challenge. Like, if you're not given a challenge, then it's not rewarding, right? So every
Mhm.
time I feel challenges, I
Mhm.
I get fired up. Like, yo, like God trusts me with this problem. That means I must be strong. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, can you give this problem to someone else? Because I'm not strong enough. So every
Mhm.
time I face struggles, that's when I'm like, oh shit, you trust me with that? All right.
Like you're ready? Let's go. Now
Let's
in
go.
comes the winning. Okay, you guys won, celebrations, proud of the Philippines and all that. When you guys won it, how was it going back home? I know everybody would throw everything at you guys. And then, of course, I think you guys repeated how many times? 4 times? 3 times?
Well, in the World Hip Hop Dance
Mhm.
Championships in LA and Las Vegas, that was twice, right?
Mhm.
But after that, in different years when I wasn't a part of it, they also won in Switzerland, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. So three, I think we had like four titles. Yeah, one in Kenya, Africa. So that's another
Was it
thing. That's
hard? I mean, was it hard repeating? After you win, of course, one year comes
oh
in
yeah,
again.
bro.
You have
Yeah, man.
this time around, the hunger is fed. After
Like
winning, the hunger is well fed. You have all the sponsors throwing everything at you guys. What were the
you,
challenges then, if
you get
any?
comfortable. You get
Mhm.
comfortable. Yeah, yeah, banka. You get big headed. You know what I mean? Like, and you feel like you don't need nothing else. You're on top of the world. So like, what's that term? Like, I keep forgetting this term. Like being comfortable is the enemy of progress, right?
Mhm.
It's somewhere around that line. So when you feel comfortable and you think you got it, that's when you're done. That's when you don't grow anymore, right?
Mhm.
So from 2006 winning the first World Hip Hop Dance Championship, and then coming to the 2007, we got big headed. We started fighting against each
Mhm.
other. We started thinking like we're better than each other. Who's more famous? Who's doing what? Who's getting the shine? Just like ego just starts like blowing up, and then next thing you know,
Mhm.
your piece cannot be as miraculous or as remarkable anymore because it's
Mhm.
like mixed up with like bad or wrong intentions, and you just feel that
Mhm.
vibe like, yo, this shit ain't happening proper anymore. and
Mhm.
and it starts coming to a point where like you can't control yourself, you can't control each other anymore, and you just
Mhm.
know that this is not it. You're not going to win it no matter how much you think you got great moves. If you're not vibrating in the right frequency, it's not gonna happen. And it's just negative vibes. So you already know in the process you lost already. So there's no point of like expecting to win the world. If you can't win yourself, you can't win the world. Brought us back to win again, right? Because we won 2006, 2007, we fell off, and then we had to bring it back to 2008. Because a lot of the struggles we went through after that was like people from around the world or our fans were like kind of disappointed, like, oh shit, I think they just fluked it. The Philippines aren't that great. They just fluked it, chamba. So I was like,
And,
I was getting that
and I can
feeling.
imagine yung mga styles, no? I mean, after you guys winning it, I could imagine like there are other countries that'll start to copy that style of dance.
Yeah, definitely. Like I would hear from different countries and different choreographers. They have like they have like a white or a blackboard that would compare their piece into the Philippine All Stars piece, like how to beat our pieces, right? So it's like it's ridiculous, like wow, like you guys really break it down that technical, like detail by detail, and then with us, it's funny because it's not about that. They're trying to compete for the wrong reasons. The
Like
technicalities.
they're trying to get the burger recipe, but here you guys are selling the burgers from your heart and hard
Something
work to feed people. That's a whole different thing.
But
That
I
is the
always,
secret sauce, as they say.
yeah, bro. I always keep saying, like, it's 70% heart, 30% technicals. Like 50% of the time when we train, we talk. We ask how everybody's doing, where everybody's mindset is at, where everybody's heart set is at. It's not like where your moves are at. Because I came to realize how many years I've been training dancers from dancers could not dance and becoming world champions. I'm like, you know what it is till now? I always tell them like, yo, it's not about the way you move, it's the way you feel. Or in Tagalog, I always say, wala sa galaw, nasa pananaw. So it's how you see things in different angles. It's not the way you move, it's the way you feel. A lot of people are thinking, pag magaling kang sumayaw. No, there's plenty, like millions of crazy, wicked dancers. But when you see a dancer dancing but they're cocky and like mayabang, and then you watch and they're great, but you're like, no, screw that guy, I ain't gonna applaud
Parang
that
walang
guy.
dating. Parang bang, it doesn't take your...
It's a wrong vibe. And you see another guy who's not as technically as good, and you see him just having fun in the club, like, hey, what's good? Oh, and you're like,
True.
okay, give him love. Because that's
true.
the vibe that's raw and proper, as opposed to nagyayabang, showing off your moves and technicalities. It's not about technicalities, man. It's about how you feel, how you talk to the world, about the way you dance. Why do you dance? What are you dancing for? What's your reason? What are your whys? Kung yung mga whys mo para magyabang, to get girls, to say that we the best. No. That's why we keep pointing up to the sky. We always say one up. People try to take pictures of us. I can't say, I'm saying it's me. I'm Mainit. Nah, I can't. I'm gonna get burnt. Babatuan ako ni God. So you know what? If you look up to me, try to take pictures with us or with me, I'd be like, it's that man upstairs. So it's not me. I just believed in them. Until now, I still rock that. From one up to fired up. It's the same. With the Mr. Mainit now from Kenjhons, it's the same. Fired up, one up, it's the same thing.
It's crazy.
I always say, bro, kalaban, gusto ko kaliyaban.
We talk about that journey in a bit. For those that are tuning in, of course, Mr. Mainit Kenjhons, he is fighting. As you listen to this interview, he is preparing for his competition over at the URCC, as he is the main event of the very first bare knuckle match in the Philippines. So he is the main event of the card, and we are talking about his journey with the Philippine All Stars. Now, from winning again, re-upping, in comes the goodbye, the exit from the group. I mean, that must have been tough, man. You know what I mean? You guys are successful. Part of you guys have outgrew it already. Time to move forward to the next chapter. When it came to moving to the next chapter, I mean, how was that decision made?
For me, it wasn't my decision to not be a part of the group. Now, I was the choreographer originally and the leader, right? So how can I be kicked out? So it's like deep, and I don't even have time. I don't even think like we have all the time to really explain everything. But what I could say is that I never wanted to be a part of that. Like Philippine All Stars was my family. Like I've gone through the best experiences being with that crew. So with that being said, being kicked out or being separated from them was heartbreaking, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no point of like forcing people into believing in your leadership or in your mission when they don't believe or they're tired of it. Like it's tiring being up there, like being idolized, being looked up to by the world, not just Philippines. It's a huge responsibility that people think like, oh, gusto ko ring sumikat. I want to be famous. Like, yo, it takes a lot of responsibilities to be up on that spotlight where you could barely even allow yourself to F up with the way you talk, the way you handle situations or people, because all eyes are on you, right? So you always have to set that standards. And you can't, hindi ka pwede magkamali, parang ganun, right? So every time you mess up, you look like...
It's like the microscope. The microscope is on you guys. You're under the microscope at every move, right?
So alam mo yun, parang it's tough. And I'm like, and then people in the group were getting tired of it. Like, and when I train, bro, like if we want to keep winning the world, I train harder and harder and harder, smarter and smarter and smarter. Like I think we were just getting started, but apparently for most of the guys in the group back that time, thought they're done with it. Like, like napagod sila sa leadership ko.
So, because I mean, I remember that when you guys were after the worlds now, no, you guys would have jogging sessions. I remember that. We'll be out and you'd be like, yeah, we gotta go home, man. We gotta go run the laps. You know what I mean? We have to, and everybody's like, what? It's not just dancing, it's physical conditioning and it's staying committed to the craft itself.
Yeah, yun. That's what made us go on top. Like we would train like militaries, like Marines, parang grabe, para kaming mga like literally like soldiers.
What do you miss about it? What do you miss about it now? What do you miss about that journey? If you were to look back, what is it that a part of that journey with the All Stars that added to Mr. Mainit now?
I mean, yung magkakapatid, bro, like dreaming together, and the world and even parents would not believe in us, but God guided us and just unfolded everything to a place where it's supposed to be. And teamwork, what I mean? Like dreamers. And because like with me right now, I'm kind of like alone now, bro. Like I have the light and everything, but I feel alone because, what I mean? Like iba yung may grupo ka. That's why I never wanted to be a solo artist. That's why I had Jay Spills, Big Chink. I never wanted to go as a solo artist. And then when I had the crew with the Philippine All Stars, I was like, yo, ang saya nito. But the struggle with that was I was the leader. So being the leader comes with, the kinakatakutan ka, you get hated by the members because you're like the sergeant. You gotta be tough. You gotta be like the Iron Fist, not the Flaming Fist yet.
Not yet.
My best friend, I had to like pin them down to the ground. My ex-girlfriend back then, our manager, when I had to like confront them, even if I don't want, because it's draining. It's a lot of energy trying to confront and, putting them back to, their place. It's a lot of effort and they're tough. And I had to catch those bullets and, that pressure. And I had to be the leader the leader that I had to be, not the leader that I wanted to be. Because I never wanted to be a leader. I just wanted to be an usher, like an artist. R&B.
But you needed to lead. You needed to do it.
I just needed to lead, and I did. God called me out for that. So I'm like, show me the light, and he to me. So I learned a lot from it. So nothing to be
in behalf of all your fans, and everybody that you've inspired. I mean, like, you guys did a great job. You know what I mean? And you have contributed so much for the Philippine community. You know what I mean? Especially the dance community and the Filipinos. Now, comes, so All Stars done. Moving forward to Rock Stars. Tell us about this. This was a little sexier, man. These are a bunch of grown men in jeans with six packs and grinding. What's the story behind this?
Yeah, we had like, rock abs, bro. You know what I mean? Like, But I had to be an example, like from an all-star, wag magkaroon ng ceiling or bubong to your opportunities to learn and grow. So from all-star becoming a rock star. So dapat mas extra different, if not higher level. Now everyone's gotta be in shape, everyone's gotta be in the right mindset, like being hard and tough, but at the same time, matibay yung mga puso, but at the same time, mapagmahal pa rin. So it's still that light. It's the same formula with whatever we have with the All-Stars, but just that, kasi yung nangyari sa Rockstars, bro, like, I got kicked out. So apparently my best friend was Rock Boy. Si Lawrence Chua was original All-Stars too. And my brother, Arnel, so shout outs to them. Silang dalawa lang yung sumama sa akin when I was kicked out of the group, right? And at that time, my brother, Kuya Arnel, he had his own, like, not little, but like students who he was like mentoring at the time. And he called them the Rock Boys, right? Like, like training with the All-Stars in the morning, afternoon, and at nighttime, they'd still go out in the clubs hanggang 5 a.m. in the morning. And then he's like, yo, these guys are like, what I say, a Rock Boys. Kumbaga, matitibay talaga. After all the full morning and day of training with the All-Stars, sa gabi pa sa club, till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. So, yun tawag sa kanya ng kuya ko, mga Rock Boys. So, when my brother came to me to support me without the All-Stars fame and name, right? That's when you know that's your blood, right? And then Lawrence Chua, who's the Rock Boy now, stuck with me. So we formed that. Imagine, bro, from All-Stars, and there's a Rock Boys, it became the Rock Stars, right? And this is the crazy part, bro. Yung All-Stars hand signed before was this, right? Pero when that parted ways, look what happened. In half, became the Rock Stars.
Hey, okay.
We never planned it. We're like, may something, right? And for me, I'm like, so we carried on with the Rock Stars. I didn't want to like be stuck in that negativity of like, man, that's my best crew, my best family, kick me out. I wanted to move on. I don't like to force myself into anybody, into any crew or even a girl. If the girl's not feeling me, I don't want to have to date you if you don't like me. If I'm not your target market, it pangit yung feeling na pilit mo yung sarili mo, di ba? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Target market talaga yun.
Ba, isang maganda, nililigawan mo, bro, if that girl's not feeling you, like gusto niya black guy, and then you're trying to like, she don't like Filipino, so don't force yourself into a girl that's not feeling you. So same thing with like with the All-Stars. Kung wala na silang tiwala sa akin as the leader of the All-Stars, they just don't want to move on with me. Why would I force myself into it? In the first place, ayaw ko naman talaga maging leader, nakakapagod. It's stressful. So if that's gonna be out of my hands, man, baka naman pwede naman muna akong huminga at sundan yung sarili kong pangarap, which is the artist, singer, R&B dancer. I've been
that
wanting to
started it all. Yeah, that started it all.
Yeah.
That is, of course.
Baka naman pwede naman ako naman. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I accepted that new stage or new thing in life. Na hindi na ako nagpaka-down, nagpaka-depressed about the Philippine All Stars. I just, you know what? They're my brothers, and I understand. But for me, I want to keep moving. Like I'm just getting started. Like now at the age of 40, I'm still rocking. Like this is crazy. I just want to keep living and stay happy every day. It's about the process.
Now, Rockstar's done, you get into this battle of the YouTubers. I mean, the original one of this, of course, was Kiko Matos and his basketball. It was actually Baron and Kiko Matos ending up in the URCC cage fighting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it became Kiko Matos and Rendon playing basketball. Then came you challenging. I saw this online. I go, Kenjhons doing a podcast first with Heidi, of course, and you guys are talking to Lunyo with some controversial stuff. But for you, what got you into this is a whole different animal itself, the battle of the YouTubers or the different tournaments that you guys have online. I mean, what got you started in all this?
All right, because I was about to bring it back with the Rockstar stage, right? So
Mm,
I felt like when I was in the All Stars stage, I had the hammer of Thor kind of thing,
mm,
right? So it's very powerful kind of energy where you get the world just believing in anything you say, and everything we were saying was about God. So you would see like the world crying, different cultures, different dialects that could not even speak like straight English, like from Japan,
mm,
from Italy. And then we would talk like this about God. They would just cry, drop the tears.
mm,
So that's when you know you had that power. And when I lost that with the Philippine All Stars, I still had my light. Don't get me wrong. It was
mm,
just dimmed down. And I was like, maybe God, I got to take a break. And whoever deserves this light or this hammer should
mm,
have it. Right. So tinanggap ko yun. And being with the rock stars, I kept sharing the same messages with the All Stars from nothing to become the world champion, and these Rockstar boys wanted it. They
mm,
were inspired and idolized the All Stars, and I was like, you know what I told them? It's not just the All Stars who could have the same kind of blessing in life.
mm,
You don't have to be Filipino to get that kind of blessing in life. If you want it, you earn it. God will give it to you. So those
mm,
were the kind of message that I brought along for the rock stars. And it came to a point where, like, if you guys are familiar with DJ Lunio, he
mm,
was one of the rock stars, the most recent batch of the rock stars. DJ Lunio and Manix Manhattan, um, who popularized the song Marikit Dance Challenge, right? If
mm,
you remember that. So that's
mm,
Manix Manhattan na pinasikat niya yon. And DJ Lunio, I know I don't have to say, was controversial and made like dance challenges from Ignition, dance challenge of R. Kelly, you know,
mm,
the guy, yung nakaputing t-shirt guy, DJ Lunio, he blew up, man. You know, during the
mm,
pandemic, all these great issues and bad issues, he went rich, he was powerful. And I
mm,
was happy to parang it told me that whatever I've brainwashed them into believing into what I believed in as a Philippine All
mm,
Stars, I passed it on to them and it worked. Came to a
mm,
point na mas sikat pa sila sa akin kasi they have like millions of followers on TikTok, Facebook, and
mm,
YouTube. I had none. I had like what
mm,
1,000 followers in YouTube. Like it's crazy, and that time it wasn't my era anymore. Like I wasn't into like social media, and these
mm,
kids were rocking the social media. They were like the influencers. They were the it, right? In the
mm,
millennial era. And I was
mm.
just like past my era. Kumbaga, laos na ako. And
You're
but I,
you're on the street cred era. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
but I never stopped. So I kept reinventing myself from like I started creating customizing classic motorcycles, you know, things
Mm,
I've never done before. Now I'm a mechanical custom guy, you know, like I flip like yung mga kalawangin na junk na mga motor tricycle and make them into classic like brand new show setup stopper type of motorcycle. So I learned all
mm,
that stuff. I got kids. I had my solo album under Viva Records.
mm,
Solo, I made that happen. I had a deal signed under Viva Records, so that was great. I never stopped, even if like I would not get the same kind of effect or the hype that I had with the All Stars. Kasi gusto ko
mm,
talaga international. Like
mm,
that's my dream. Like sabi ko, if I had the mic to inspire the if I had the moves or we had the moves to inspire the world, what more if I had the microphone,
mm,
right? So that's why I kept wanting to push for music, and so I did my album pero hindi talaga tumatawid to the level where I wanted to speak to the world and
mm,
inspire them. Kahit na maganda yung mga kanta ko, kahit na alam ko na banging hits yung mga tracks na ginawa ko, God for some
mm,
reason just had me like just wait up for your time to come around. It's not your time
mm,
yet. Yung tinanggap ko, it was given to DJ Lunyo or even Manix Manhattan, yung spotlight
mm,
or yung hammer na yon. And like
mm,
I said in one of my songs, bro, but this is transitioning, right? Sabi ko sa mga
mm,
kanta ko, yung sabayan ng init, kind of like mainit song, right? May
mm,
track ako doon because I used to always have abs. That's what people
mm,
knew me about, you know, like being rock star, being sexy, all that
mm,
charisma. So sabi ko, na out of shape ako kasi naging dad bod na rin ako. I had two
mm,
kids, right? But then I had a song saying in my last verse, sabi ko, dati ay absent, tumaba ako. Dati ay absent, you know what I've said. Babalik ang apoy pag kailangan lang hoy. So
mm,
now, transitioning, yo, literally, I have my fist like into flames now, the flaming fist, Mr. Mainit. So I don't want to skip the process, but nasan na ba tayo, Rico? So are we already in the
I
process
mean,
yet? YouTubers,
now
right?
the YouTubers that we're on as we speak, of course, if you're wondering, people out there tuned in, he's talking about his upcoming bare knuckle fight. Now, what we're trying to get into here in this interview is what led him to that journey.
Yeah.
Basketball tournament, Rendon, you guys are gonna play out. Everybody was hyped. We didn't know how to watch it. We had to try to go to different links online and try to find it all. All of a sudden, first possession of the ball, that one layup, and then bang. What happened there?
That's tough because I want to share and give a shout out to Kiko Matos, right? He's like my on social media mentor and this fight scene, right? So he would give me like all these advice how to roll with it because he started even way back, like you said, with Baron Geisler, with what's his name from
Babalu Jack, Billy Joe Jack, or something like that.
Billy Jack, right? So he
Billy
blew
Jack,
up that, you know, and then sinampal siya ng katotohanan ni Rendon Labrador, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. So I got in there. He was one of the first people I like pinalagang ko tong Rendon na to because he had this call out like Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Kung gusto niyo ako makalaban ng 1v1, let me know. Ganon. I-hashtag nyo, Bagyong Rendon, papalag ako. And this was at 5 a.m. in the morning. I would wake up and try to reinvent myself. Ano kayang pwede kong gawin para matuloy yung liyab ko, mag-intak. And I saw that link, that video of him calling people out, Luzon, Visayas, ang yabang. So yung bagyo niya, nasagiyan ako. I was like, you know what? I haven't played ball in like 10, 20 years, yo. But I could beat this guy, right? So, pero hindi ako sikat. Like, I wasn't in social media. I had like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? So, pero sabi ko, I know how to hype shit up kasi mainit nga ako. Papainitin ko yung mga bagay-bagay. So, you know what I did? I called up like Eruption, si Wamos, you know, sina Tim Sawyer, and sina Kiko Matos, because those are like my friends, our friends even back in the days, right? So, tinawagan ko sila, bro, hook me up. I want to get this message across. Gusto kong palagan si Rendon, ganito, ganyan. Like, na-feel ko yun, bro, 5 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna call him out. Ganon. And I was gonna try, magpapaalam sana ako sa wife ko, kay Hides. And she was sleeping, fired up. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna record this. I'm like, yo, Rendon, ganito, ganyan. So, in-upload ko yun. And before I upload it, I made my wife watch it. I'm like, you know what? I've already recorded myself. And she was laughing, right? She was like, oh my God. Like, but you know what? It's good. And she loved it. I was like, that's right. That's natural, right? So I put it out there.
Napansin ba when you put it out there? I mean, I can imagine so many people are calling him out. He probably gets these messages on a daily basis.
So yung mga tao sa paligid nila, they know of me, like the Brusco brothers. Apparently, the more that I started doing videos of, calling him out, I probably did like 4, 5, 6 videos. Tapos sumali pa ako dun sa 3v3 tournament nila na nasabit lang ako with DJ Lunio. Kasi it's his hype, it's his light, right? Sinabit lang ako because DJ Lunio knew I play ball, right? So I became a part of that 3v3 or naging 2v2 pala. And then when I got in the 2v2, aside from Kiko Matos doing content with me, trying to call out Rendon and helping me out, actually yung Kiko Matos, bro, yung story dyan, binalik niya yung respeto niya sa akin as a former Philippine All Stars. Because yung story ni Kiko Matos, bro, back in the days when he wasn't famous yet and he was trying to be in showbiz, and when Nick Hernandez back in the days trying to promote those events
bars.
and
Yeah.
Sabi ni Kiko, bro, you know why na-excite akong tulungan kita? You called me up and asking for my help. I'm like, yo, Kenjhons is asking for my advice? What the? Get out of here.
Yeah.
He shared me his story back when we were famous, like worldwide Philippines, right? Sabi niya, we were at a fashion show, we were going to perform, and he was like a fanboy of us. Right? And he remembered this coming up to Kenjhons and saying, Idol, pwede pong magpa-picture. And I was still young. I was like my mid-20s that time. And he was probably like a teenager, right? So naaalala niya, ang bait ko daw nung nagpa-picture siya sa akin. Like, it was cool. Like, yeah, bro, tara, picture tayo. And you know what he told me? From that day, that what made him act every time people would get pictures of him. Nung sumikat na siya, that's how he wanted to treat his fans. How I treated him when he was still a fanboy. That's why I was like, wow, the world turns, you
Yeah,
never
true, sure.
come back around for you. And tinulungan niya ako. He was already like big time, like sikat na siya na vlogger, social media influencer, right? Parang ako, sino ba ako, right? But it paid off 10, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, ganun yung mundo eh. So, and then, so tinulungan niya ako, maitawid yung mensahe, and then I got into battle of the YouTubers of 2v2. But then yung time na yon, si Rendon na yung parang hari. Parang bagyo Rendon. Like, kasi sinampal niya si Kiko Matos, right? So that blew
got
up.
a lot of traction online because he was the guy that was causing beef with him and Baron, and then all of a sudden they're trying to build him into this kumbaga villain by calling out Rendon. So sinampal siya. And then that being said, the basketball game happened. Then what happened next?
So nung nasa 2v2 ako, kasama ko si Lunyo, kasi hindi ako sinasagot. He wasn't paying attention. Like, he wasn't replying to my vlogs, right? So, in-interview ko ni Makagago with the mic. And you know me, when you have the microphone, you can control the room. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, ganun yung power. You know that as a host, right? Once you have the microphone, you get the power. So,
you got the hammer of Thor. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
So, bro, doon ko kinall out si Rendon live. When they interviewed me, like, ano masabi mo, Kenjhons, gano'n. Guys, si Kenjhons to, legendary to, gano'n. So as soon as I got the mic, I was like, Rendon, right? Pagyo, ambon ka lang sa akin. Palagan mo na ako. All that crap, right? So I don't remember what I said. But doon na-capture yung attention ni na Makagago and everything. And then from then on, they started like messaging me like they wanted me in. Considering the fact na dapat naghanap sila yung sikat or may hype. But that time, totoo na tinatrash talk nila ako. Bakit si Kenjhons? Like, pabebe pa siya nun eh. Tapos na yan eh. Right?
And then, tsaka yung I mean, I could imagine yung height difference ninyong dalawa and also the physical difference as well. You are in shape, but it's Monster RX93.1 once again. For those that are watching us, Mr. Mainit, Kenjhons, joining us for his bare knuckle fight. They've been talking to us about the journey that he has been from the Philippine All Stars to the Rock Stars to playing basketball in the battle of the YouTubers. I mean, with it being said, you had to play against Rendon. You got ready. You're ready to go again. I mean, what started the punch? What led to that? I know I could see it on the replay kasi nagulat kami as viewers, no? Isn't like, okay, somebody didn't move, and then the ball, it was a foul on the first possession, and then boom, the punch was thrown.
Can I just take you back a day before that? When doing the press con where like it went viral like 5 million over like a day or two when I threw a human being at him.
I saw that. What's the story behind that?
So yun na nga, bro, because like their script of their trash talk about me is like, laos na yan, who the heck is, sino yung Kenjhons na yan, hindi naman kilala. So I'm like, yo, nah, you did not say that, laos na ako. Papaalala ko sa'yo kung sino ako, kung ano yung mga achievements ko. So that's when I had thinking like, ano kaya yung isang move na pwede kong pa-realize sa hearts? You know what I mean? Like, we did that for all the Filipinos worldwide. Tapos gaganunin ako na laos, na pagdaanan na, wala nang hype. So I'm like, yo, I brought back, I prayed about that move, like that one-hand signature of the Philippine All Stars. I was like, yo, what if, para maalala ng lahat na nagpapanggap na hindi na ako kilala, hindi kami kilala, gagawin ko yon, isang kamay, tapos ibabato ko sa kanya yung tao. That would be freaking awesome, right? So I'm like, yo, so anyways, yun yung pinagdasal ko. Ano kaya yung isang move na para ma-realize ng mga to na don't F around with me, yo. Right? And the funny thing is, bro, I practiced basketball for 3 months over the pandemic because I haven't played ball in like years, right? So I couldn't feel the ball anymore. Pero sabi ko, it's gonna take me just a month or two to get it back every day. I had no excuses kasi pandemic, sarado yung mga basketball courts. You know what I did? during pandemics, naka-bless kami, nakabili kami ng lupa sa Tagaytay. Bro, I built my own basketball court.
I saw the videos of that. I mean, you
Diba?
know, for those that are watching, look at the videos. It's being featured here as you built your basketball court. 3
Oo.
months. Then the
Yeah,
game comes in. The game comes in. Okay, so
Yeah, because kasi ayaw kong ayaw kong mag-hype tapos wala naman palang ibubuga. Right? So I had to make sure I'm gonna be legit enough as a baller because I used to be a basketball player when I was in high school in Canada. Right? I was a varsity. I would play for Filipino like All Stars kind of thing. Like, you know, like in America we
leagues, Philippine leagues and all that. Yeah.
Phil Canadians, you know what I mean? Like that used to be my life. That was my first love, basketball. So I brought it back now for Battle of the YouTubers, hoping na baka ito na yung comeback ko of getting that hammer or that spotlight for me in maybe a weird way or something else. So ako parang, I'm just being open-minded. San kaya ako idadaan ni God para iinit ko ulit yung mga bagay-bagay, right? So not knowing the Battle of the YouTubers was gonna be that first door to open for me. And never practiced a punch. Not even once, bro. So, kaya nung nangyari tong the next day of the game, kausap ko yung organizer, si Makagago. You know what he told me? When tonight is the basketball game, right? Kasi nga, things went viral with Rendon, binato ng tao, ganun. Galit na galit siya, napikon. Pinasabi niya kay Makagago, sabihin mo kay Kenjhons, humanda siya mamaya sa laban namin kasi magkakasakitan kami. So I was like, word? Okay. Pakisabi sa kanya na pag tinuloy niya yung maitim na balak niya, hindi ko siya aatrasan. Yun yung sinabi ko, bro. Because you know, the guy's trying to threaten me, right? Tinatakot ako. I don't like that. But ako wala akong intention manakit. But I want to play ball. I put up my own basketball court para mag-basketball.
Yeah, to play ball, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to fight. I'm not a brawler. I'm not a street brawler. You know, like I give inspirational to the people how to be happy, man. Wala akong timbring ganon. But this guy steps into the court. Wala pang 10 seconds yata. Pagka-inbound, the guy hits me with a massive elbow. And this guy, para alam nyo lang guys, imagine, 6'3" yung height niya. And he's a bodybuilder. I'm only 5'11". And I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm in shape, like a dancer, or you know what I mean, like sariling hulma ko, but not as a bodybuilder. So didn't expect that elbow hitting my jaw, bro. As in bumating-ting yung mundo ko. I was like, I felt that ring, and I was like, if we have 10 minutes to play this game, tapos 10 seconds pa lang, siniko na ako ng malala, bro. I felt like my jaw was dislocated, man, because I never experienced getting hit that hard, right?
And
so
you had no mouthpiece. That's one thing too. And you didn't prepare to play that kind of basketball.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
bro. So you know what I told myself, my instinct, kasi nagdasal ako, no? I don't want to hurt people, but literally, I finished the game, I got disqualified. So pagkasiko niya sa akin dito, I was like, yo, I can't wait for another 10 minutes na he could pretend he'd be dribbling, next thing you know, he's gonna elbow me again or what. Baka ako naman yung dumugo yung ilong. So kailangan ko nang gumante right now just to make him feel like, yo, don't F with me, yo. You know?
But did you know when you threw that punch, did you know it was gonna connect? Did you feel nervous when you threw it?
No, bro. Alam ko lang, kailangan ko lang gumante. I just gotta flick something. Give something back, yo. I didn't know malakas yata talaga yung flaming fist ko. Wala pang flaming fist nun eh. Pinitik ko lang, bro. I just flicked it and it started bleeding and the guy just stood there like, you know, like a kid. Like, yo, aren't you supposed to fight back when someone hits you in the nose and you start bleeding? You should go crazy and protect yourself and come back at me. But
the thing, I mean, for me, when I saw the video, as you're watching it now, you ran so fast. That what people were saying. Hey, Kenjhons ran. I mean, you know, is it for your own safety because the other people were gonna charge at you? What was
this? This is the thing, right? If you notice, like the venue was like they had a second floor around the gym, so he had his dad, his uncle, you know, he had his family there, and you know, before knowing this, I only knew pangit yung how I am when I try to be fake. I can't be fake. I've been real my whole life. You can't give me script, man. It has to come from my heart. It's gotta be real. So yung nangyayari sa akin, alam ko yung mga tactic ng mga ganyan. Every time they try to start chaos or yung mga ginagawa
to make it
na,
viral or something.
o pag nag-viral, nakikita ko na isang suntok, isang sampal, isang tadyak, may mga bouncer na naaawat, di ba? Stoppage na. Yayakapin ka. So naisip ko, kung mangyayari sa akin yun, if I was ever gonna hit back or do something stupid like that, alam ko na dudumugin ako ng mga bouncer. So if I flick the guy in the nose, tas dumugo, yung instinct ko is to look around for bouncers na yayakapin ako. Kasi pag niyakap ako ng mga bouncers, edi magagantihan ako ni Rendon.
You won't have your defense up because you're hard.
Yeah. There's like 5, 10 bouncers around us, right? Ready na
You
yung
have
mga
to
yun.
protect. You have to protect yourself at all time at the same time.
And you know, ako yung pinaka-beginner dun sa league na yon. At yung Rendon is like their king. He's like even the director. Like, real talk, bro. He's like the director of the show. So, they're not gonna protect me. They're gonna protect him. I'm like a newcomer. Like, I'm nobody. Laos na nga ako eh.
What's the repercussion after that? You know, when that punch happened, of course, it went viral. It hit everything. What happened next?
So yun na nga kasi parang I wanted to be a part of the show. Like I said, ayaw ko naman manggulo, ayaw ko manakit. And I just started like, I wanted to go back in there. Tapos may mga sinasabi silang maban daw ako kasi ganyan. So I started calling him out. Sabi ko, bro, ano? Diba? Dalhin natin sa octagon. Diba? And people were saying like, isang suntok, sabay takbo naman ako. Takot daw ako. Kaya sabi ko, you know what? I ain't scared, man. Punta tayo rekta sa octagon. Ambon. So I started calling him out. That's what made me started training MMA. So si Kiko Matos, that's where he comes into place, right? Parang bro. Because si Kiko, he's so fired up with the MMA world and then he's been trying to get his friends to get into it. Ako lang yung nagpabola, kay Kiko Matos sa mga tinuturo niya. Like I got fired up and I did like the things that he told me I should do to get back at Rendon. So he was my mentor of trying to get that hype with Rendon. And you know what? Just call him out, man. Unang-una, hindi nang papalagyan. Duwag yan. Gumaganon. So I was like, what if pumalag siya? No, he's not gonna. Like,
nervous ka, no? Laki, no? Like, no? Parang gumalag. You know
I'm like, kasi I was never into that world. But Kiko was like saying, but unang-una, hindi papalagyan gumaganon. Duwag yan, gumaganon. So I'm like, anyway, I might as well train and learn something new in my life. So I started getting into ground and pound MMA gym Antipolo where I met Coach Padong. So pinakilala sa akin ni Kiko Matos yung buong crew doon, mga coaches. They welcomed me. So they sponsored me with that. So doon natuloy yung nagkaroon na ng URCC which is nagsimula sa 3v3. Naging na-cancel yon with Kiko Matos. Kakampi ko dapat siya and another homie si Aziz against Billy Jack naman this time and his crew. Billy Jack's team. Team Billy Jack and Team Kiko, parang ganon. Na-cancel yon. Na-down kami lahat, bro. Because, you know, like, I've never trained that hard. Especially first time ko to sa martial arts, MMA, right? Imagine
fired
first time.
Up.
Diba?
Oo.
Diba?
I mean, so you went to 3v3 and then it got canceled because, of course, pandemic as well. What led to you doing this now, what we are watching, bare knuckle? I mean, it's a big league in the US, you know. I mean, this is, of course, one of the oldest arts, I think, since the 1800s. This has been the practice. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Jack Johnson's one of the greats. No, not the guitarist Jack Johnson, but the very first heavyweight, African-American heavyweight champion that was ever recorded, Jack Johnson. Now, for you, okay, you're doing MMA, but how did it lead to bare knuckle?
Okay, this is how it went. Because what happened was 3v3 got canceled. So imagine of us training for like 3-4 months and it got canceled. We lost jobs, opportunities, we lost money, we lost a lot of energy, and then we get canceled. Like somebody with Kiko Mato. So na-depress kami kasi parang we prepared for nothing, right? So and then so all the other guys in the other camp, in my camp with Kiko, ayaw na nila. Like they felt toxic with the whole process. And they felt like URCC just dropped us to the side like nothing happened, you know? So ako naman, sabi ko, and this guy, Boss Bullet, who faced Mammoth a month ago, natalo siya. Pero ngayon, now he's claiming he's like the hype king. And originally, si Kiko dapat yan, yung hype king ng URCC. He's the original vlogger brawler. Diba? So ngayon, parang lumipat yung title dun sa kay Boss Bullet. Now he's claiming, or URCC is claiming na siya na yung hype king. And syempre, masakit yung loob ng tropa natin, ng kabadass natin yung time nung si Kiko Matos, na good ass na ngayon, di na daw kabadass. So I was like, you know what? The fact that I've been training for 3, 4, 6 months already, ayaw kong mawalang mapuntahan yung mga pinag-practicean ko, pinag-trainingan ko. And this guy is being cocky. And I learned something about boxing already. And this guy he's been a MMA fighter, jiu-jitsu yung field niya talaga, as opposed to like striking. Eh bilang boxer, natutunan ko, and I practice more in the striking, right? Alam ni Kiko na there's something about my fist that our opponents don't know about. They think baguhan lang ako, nagsasayaw, na wala naman talaga, ganun. So whatever. So sabi ko, natutunan ko na kapag mas matangkad ka, you have a longer reach. Kawawa yung kalaban mo kapag maliit. So may palag ako sa bullet na yon. So and when that bare knuckle came about, they were calling out Kiko, and I knew Kiko is my good friend of mine. Ayaw na ni Kiko lumaban. Diba? Kasi toxic na. He wants out from that field of like toxic, calling people out, trying to beat each other. Ganon. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just getting started. Ako na ang papalag dito. So I started coming up with a video to call that guy out na ako na ang papalag sa'yo, wag na si Kiko. So, hindi tinanggap yung challenge ko. So, I proved na takot talaga sa akin yung bullet, yung boss nila na bullet na yan na kala mo may bullet pero iniilagan yung mga bala ko. Like literally, doon ko na-realize na napapasunat sila sa akin na nagiging para yung aura ko, nagiging totoong fighter na ba talaga na kasi I would post videos, I'd be sparring like Mammoth, world champion yung sparring partner ko pala. Man, you know Mammoth, right? The champ, Sugar Ray? So, paunti-unti, nare-realize nila parang meron akong may bubuga. So, you know, the other side of the camp, they call themselves like mandirigma. Pero sa akin, peking mandirigma na lang naman yung dating nila sa akin. Because they all talk, right? When I start like calling them out, they back out. So, hindi na tuloy. Pero doon ko naramdaman itong bare knuckle na to. Bro, ito yung hugot ko kasi. My whole life, I was always scared of street fights. Tumatakbo ako. Legit talaga to. Why? Because I was happy about life. I don't like to get in trouble. Ayaw kong makulong. Ayaw kong masaksak or makasaksak. Mabasagan ng bote sa kalye. You know, or mahuntingin ka. You know, like I don't want none of that. Like to me, life was so great. I was so happy. I wanted to stay away from that. So every time may mga away, as much as I could, I would just take off, man. Tatakbo ako. Pero pag na-corner ako, wala na akong choice but I have to defend myself. I always just would like throw one punch and I knock the guy out with one punch. Gets knocked out or knocked down and I run. So ngayon ko na-realize na baka naman once before I die, in the age of 40, maka-experience man lang ako ng legal na square or 1v1. Diba? In the ring, sport, legal siya, hindi ka makukulong, wala siyang personal, it's just sport. Baka naman pwede kong ma-experience bilang lalaki, at least once man lang, bago ako mamatay. I could tell myself, I experienced that. Kasi ayaw ko na mabuhay na natatakot ako. Because that was
facing your fears. Yeah, it's facing fears now.
So I went straight to bare knuckle, and next thing you know, the boxers and the MMA fighters were like, what the, bro, you're crazy. Like, kahit yung mga MMA fighters, takot lumaban sa bare knuckle, tapos ikaw, first time mo, biglang rekta ka na sa bare knuckle. That's when I was like, that's right. I don't fear no more. You know, doon na ako nagkaroon ng confidence ko na started building with myself, like, let's go. So I kept training and training and training with like the best, you know, champion fighters.
How does one train, I mean, for a bare knuckle fight? I mean, I know boxing training, you do your cardio, you do your conditioning, then you have your wraps and you have your gloves. I mean, I'm guessing you're using small MMA gloves on your daily training, getting your sparring in. I mean, that's the main thing. But remember, when you're guarding with smaller hands,
Yeah.
mas malaki yung target zone with that. Who did you reach out to as far as training is concerned?
Well, the most recent one I had besides Master Badong, it was Rico Robles, yo. Same session with you that morning. My last day of training was with you. So again, yung mga kaliyaban ko, yung mga RX all out fans out here, Rico Robles, the real deal, man. He blessed me with, that morning we went jogging, sparred for like 4 rounds. Pinakitaan niya ako, sinare niya sa akin yung mga alam niya sa boxing. This guy is for real. Legit na boxingero, tsaka legit na kaliyaban kasi ang dami
It's
niyang
my dude.
binigay sa akin. Because we go way back, man, even before the Philippine All Stars. So this guy,
Yeah, dude.
he got excited. I got excited because now we crossed path with something that you've been doing most of your life, but I'm just a newbie about it. But I'm fired up, yo. Like I got the flaming fist now. You know what I mean? Like where'd that come from? So
We are
naramdaman mo yun.
excited. We're
Kaya
excited for this. We're excited for this, man.
I'm super excited, man. Like I said, I'm more prepared. I feel I've never felt this physically ready, mentally, emotionally, spiritually ready in my life at the age of 40. Yo, I'm proud to say it. Ngayon lang ako naging consistent sa mga workout ko, sa mga diet ko, the food intake, with how I am now. Like I feel happy and excited, being married with 2 kids, like I got no stress in life. I got dreams to fulfill still, you know what I mean? But I'm happy in the process. Tomorrow, win or lose, I've already won the process, right?
And that's the main thing. That's the main thing is the journey. Now,
That's the
Ken,
biggest
for
part of
you,
it.
I mean, thank you for taking time to share with us before we wrap up our interview. I mean, it's been a journey for you from the All Stars to forming this group and everything in between. Through the steps of it, I mean, if the members of the All Stars are watching now, you have any messages for them? I mean, as they watch this interview, you're about to get in the octagon, you're about to fight the fight of your life at this very moment. Message for all of them.
Gusto ko silang i-call out na supportahan ako as a sign of me showing them my gratitude na I'm proud that I came from them. They've been like probably the biggest part or the best highlight of my life, especially being here in the Philippines and being presented to the world. So I'll never forget that. Like walang makakatap na achievement. Wala pa, right? So may mga negativity na naman nangyayari sa amin. That's down the drain for me, man. Like I said, ayaw ko ng kalaban. Gusto ko kaliyaban lang parati. So if I had 80% great moments with them, there's 15-20% trash, I'll trash that. I want to cherish 80% great moments with them. And with that being said, I would love to see them in the venue tomorrow. I would love to feel or know that if they watch this through pay-per-view, because half of us are in America, magiging masaya ako, proud ako na represent sila. Kung ano yung sinimulan ko at kung sino ako ngayon. Na maging proud sila sa akin sa journey na to at kung saan man ako papunta. Kasi dadaling ko pang habang buhay yung experience ko as a part of the Philippine All Stars original. For the rest of my life, man, with anything that I do.
And we're very, very proud of you as you go through the journeys of it. But the reason why I do this part, because I know that in every journey, for a greater journey, you would want to leave behind all the baggages of the past. Now, with you and Rendon, I mean, how are you guys? Are you guys in speaking terms? If not, if so, I mean, if you have that opportunity now as you step into this cage and fight another battle, you have any message for him? Is there any chance of you guys becoming friends?
No, man, you know what it is? Like, they played with fire and they got burnt. Like I said, ayaw ko naman mamaso. Gusto ko makaliyab. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been trying to talk to MG about it na, hindi ako makagago, makatao ako. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like what happened to us. So, but hindi nila matanggap they don't understand me, or maybe they don't like me. And I can't force myself into people if they're not feeling my light or whatever or who I'm representing. Ako, dami kong spotlight dito, nailawan ako, di ba? Parang, there's a reason why I'm here now. Hindi na ako laos. So maybe, Rendon, napapanood mo na ako ngayon. Dati last year, sabi mo, laos ako, sino ba ako? Di ba? So, pinainit ko yung show nyo, binutukutan ng tao, sumabog, kilala na ako ng tao ulit, kilala mo na ako ngayon. Hanggang ngayon, kahit kinukulat mo yung mga PBA players, hindi pa ako hinaharap eh. Di ba? Huwag kang magpanggap, huwag kang magbulag-bulagan. Kung gusto mo ako maging kalaban or kaliyaban, nandito ako. Your flaming fist, Mr. Mainit. I stay fired up.
My man. More exciting things in store as well. For the family, I could imagine your wife going, what did he get himself into now?
They're going to be there
is it?
tomorrow. My wife
And
is gonna
I'm
be
dear
there.
friends with your wife, Heidi. I mean, we work together as well. What did she have to say about all this, and also your message for them?
Siyempre at first, they're scared about it. Either scared for me or scared for my opponent. I don't know what it is, but to me, I'm going to win because I know why I'm doing this for. I earned the spotlight that people are watching me now. And I'm just getting started again on that next level. And, yung CCTV natin, si God. So you can't F around anymore. You got to be in that perfect angle. Every angle, you got to do things right. Huwag ka nang kakaliwa sa buhay. Always make it right. And my wife knows that. So any decision making I make, she supports. Alam niyang hindi siya kukontra dyan kasi tiwala siya sa akin. So sabi ko sa kanya, kung may takot ka, because I'm usually like her superhero kapag nag-freak out siya. Sisigaw yan. Badsy, Ken. I'm there like a superhero, like Superman, Sabi ko sa kanya, you come tomorrow. Kasi tinanong niya ako, are you sure? Am I really gonna go in your fight? I'm like, you know what? 20, 30 years from now, this is historical. You don't want to miss it. Pag-uusapan natin tapos di ka kasama sa proseso, that's gonna suck. So I'm like, you know what? You come through to the fight, you could scream whichever way you want, the most scared, nervous, negativity, you're scared. I'm going to run him over. I'm going to win because I deserve the spotlight. And I've been earning it. I've been deserving it. And by the end of the day, I'm going to do my best. Si God pa rin ang may final decision kung para sa akin o hindi. And the final formula will be acceptance. If it's not for me, I've already won the process, the journey. Tomorrow is just going to be one night. Like I said, you could be the best boxer, MMA fighter, like McGregor, Adesanya, or Manny Pacquiao. You could still get knocked out if it's not your time. So ako, tanggap ko na kung matalo ko, acceptance. But I am going to do my best to protect myself, my kids, and my family, my wife. So yun, sana manood kayo. Kung di nyo mapanood, baka may mga replays naman yan. So makikita nyo rin naman kung anong mag-unfold. Pero para sa akin, hindi lang history to. It's always his story.
Message to your opponent.
Sabi ko nga, magiging kaliyaban ko lang din yan. O, tignan ito. Kalaban. Sila? Tama ba? Kalaban.
Kaliyaban. Yeah.
Hindi.
Kalaban, yeah.
May part to parang kalaban eh. Tama ba yan? Yan!
Yeah.
Kalaban or kaliyaban? You pick.
Many of your fans, since day one, that idolizes you, that supports you, throughout your journey. Any message for them?
Sige, mga original na kaliyaban ko na medyo naging kalaban ko na kasi feeling nila nag-iba na yung landas ko, nakakapaso na. Naiintindihan ko kayo, guys. Medyo kakaiba. Hindi medyo, talagang sagad talaga, bare knuckle. Yung character ko from Kenjhons na alam nila as a dancer, as an artist, naging Mr. Mainit, nakakapaso or namamaso or nanliliyab. Mas totoo lang ako ngayon. Dati kailangan ko maging extra mabait, like walking on broken glasses kasi nandun kami sa peak na buong mundo pinapanood yung mga galawan namin. Pero natutunan ko na you can never be perfect. You could strive to be better every day, but be more real every day. So yung mga sinasabi ko walang sugarcoat, potentially mapaso yung mga tao, kahit yung mga dating supporters ko, okay lang yun kasi one time, one day soon, maiintindihan nyo rin ako. And I'm not worried because I know, alam ko, nanonood yung Diyos sa akin. Marirealize nyo rin yan balang araw kung kalaban na yung tingin nyo sa akin. Alam ko sa panahon, sa timing ni God, magiging kaliyaban lang din kayong lahat. Pero kung hindi, okay lang. It keeps me up on my toes to keep getting better and learning every day. So, yun.
And last but not least, Ken,
Yo.
when this fight is done, raising up your hand, what's next? Are you going to continue to a fighting career or is this just one-off lang to? Ano yung susunod?
Originally, gusto ko lang ma-experience one, sabi ko nga, di ba? Pero the further in I get into it, I'm going international, bro. Sama ka, tara na, Rico. Let's take Paul Brothers, yo. Let's go call him out right now.
I will hold that water for you, a towel on my neck, and I will train you and smile and laugh and celebrate with you, my brother. You know what I mean? And exciting times indeed. You know, thank you very much for taking time to take this interview. Thank you very much for sharing with us your passion and your heart, your story, and of course, his story for you is unfolding as we speak. My man, Kenjhons, maraming salamat. You know, Mr. Mainit, good luck on the bout. For those that are watching this, as he is already inside the cage, being his hands raised. You know what I'm saying? We are excited for the time. So then, thank you very much, my man. And we'll catch you again. All right, stay blessed as always. Hey, my man, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Kenjhons. And there you have it. We hope you guys enjoy that Monster exclusive interview. Once again, with Mr. Mainit, Kenjhons, a man that is going after his dreams with his bare hands on fire as you witness history being made as well. My name is Rico with a.k.a. Rivera. Thank you guys for watching. And this has been another Monster exclusive interview.
Monster exclusive interview. Monster exclusive interview. Only from Manila's hottest. Monster RX93.1.